Let's start with the Cougars, and let's start with Aiden Robbins, getting some high praise before we even get to the Big 12 Media Days, which is next month, and then we get into the season. Phil Steele has tabbed the UNLV transfer as first-team All-Big 12 for the upcoming season. The only other first-team running back he's got on his list is Kansas junior Devin Neal. There's 14 teams in the Big 12, and he's got Aiden Robbins as one of the two top running backs in the conference. What does that bode for BYU?
Man, that's a lot of hype. I think it's good hype when you look at his production that he had last season, over 1,000 yards. Again, I hate to bring this up, but it goes back to what I was saying. Who was he playing against, right? But I think there's a.
But also, who was he playing with?
So I'll say it like this. You have to look at the actual production numbers, right? Like the stats.
Yeah.
As well as the competition. Because if you are playing against lesser opponents, I think you should have video game stats, right? Your stats should be eye-popping. They should stand out. I think that can correlate to, well, if he played against, higher quality opponents, maybe it will even out in regards to his talent and being able to really compete. So I don't really have a concern with it, but what I love the most is you have a newcomer coming into the program and a new program coming into the conference and getting high accolades at a really significant position.
I can't wait for Sam Houston in Southern Utah just to see him with BYU's line of scrimmage, the offensive line, to see what he can do at 6'3" and 230 pounds with 2 years of eligibility. Cam Mellor from College Football Network ranks him as the 5th best running back in the Big 12 and number 28 nationally. Again, high props for the young guy. And running backs coach Harvey Unga is going to be on the Wise Guys next week. We'll talk about this Aiden Robbins. And I saw a tweet from Robbins in response to first team All Big 12, and he said, "Save it for the end of the season." And I thought that was cool.
I love that.
This is a guy who's got his degree already, and he's sharp, understands, and just wants to play football. And I think he can be a leader for everyone else in that room.
Yeah, I think it's easy for a lot of kids to get to this level and feel like that they've, I don't want to say arrived, but their goal is to just get here and not get to the next level, or maybe there's no hard plan of action. And so guys that always wake up each and every day with how can I get better? What can I do today to get better? Eventually you get production like he's had over the last year, and you end up hitting your goals and just that hungry. I want somebody to be hungry, right? To wake up every morning and starve, or
every carry, just starve. Hey, Steven's watching with us from Olympia, Washington, saying looking forward to hearing from what Coach Satake has to say about his receivers. That's coming up in just a moment. Enoch Watson is a quarterback out of Arizona that's committed to play at BYU. He's 6'3", 200. He's going to play for Ty Detmer and Max Hall this fall at American Leadership Academy in Arizona, and then go on a church mission and be in Provo in 2026. His younger brother's on the team. We'll see what Enoch Watson's all about. We have to wait for him. Yeah. But we're going to get the lowdown from Max and Ty, because we talked to them all year long, and he's their quarterback this fall.
It was a little bit, I don't want to say concerning. I thought it was weird, considering the type of offense that he ran. Running a triple option. I was like, why are we getting the kids like that? But then I saw that he's going to be playing for Max and Ty. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
they'll get him right. They'll get him right. So
Dr. Ketch in Vegas watching us tonight. Thanks, Dr. Ketch. Keep us posted on the Golden Knights. Earlier, Brian Clinton of Heartland College Sports rolled out his top 10 non-conference games in the Big 12, and he's got a BYU game in that mix. He goes with number 10, Oklahoma State at Arizona State on September 9th.
Then Kansas State at Missouri, September 16th.
Iowa State at Iowa is his number 8 game. That's September 9th. All these are early games.
And then number 7, that's a good number. Maybe not for this ranking, but it's a good number.
That's your number. That's the number you are.
Well, that's the number of the Lord. It's a number of completion. But BYU at Arkansas, September 16th.
It's also a big number in Vegas, from what I understand.
It is.
7.
It is. So BYU at Arkansas, September 16th, 5:30 Mountain on ESPN2.
So that's his 7th best Big 12 non-conference game.
Yeah.
And there's some other ones. Number 6, West Virginia at Penn State on September 2nd. West Virginia's picked at the bottom of the Big 12, but they're going to go to Penn State and a chance to make some noise. And then his number 5 is Pittsburgh at West Virginia on September 16th. And then there's some intriguing ones.
The Utah at Baylor is really, really, really intriguing with me. Just to see how Utah matches up with this style of play with Baylor. I mean, I think Utah defensively is physical. We all know that Baylor wants to run, but I love to see both sides of the ball that are physical. They want to win, on the line of scrimmage. See how that plays out. It could be a boring game.
Hey, if Cam Rising isn't healthy, you're in trouble in Waco.
Yeah.
We'll see about that one. The third biggest top 10 non-conference game, according to Heartland College Sports, Brian Clinton, is Colorado at TCU on September 2nd. I have a feeling TCU is going to win that game by 50 points because Colorado got rid of their current team and they brought in a whole new team. I don't know if you can, in 4 weeks, become a team to take on a squad that just played for the College Football National Championship. That's on the road.
That's only intriguing because of Deion.
Yeah.
There's no other way to.
How about number 2?
Oregon at Texas Tech. That's not really intriguing to me.
Yeah, I don't really care about that one.
Yeah.
That's on September 9th. But the number 1 game, according to his list, is interesting, and that's Texas at Alabama on September 9th.
Oh, yeah.
They played tight in Austin last year, but I have a feeling Alabama hammers them in Tuscaloosa. We'll see. But those are the top 10 non-conference games in the Big 12, which we look forward to. A couple of key dates before we get to Fesi Sataki. July 1st coming up, BYU joins the Big 12. We're going to have a big party. Live coverage on BYU TV from 3 to 5 Mountain Time. Belo, Blaine, David Nixon, myself, Spencer Jerem, our whole gang will be there covering it. That's in the Student Athletic Building practice fields. And then a couple hours later, Stadium of Fire over at the football stadium.
Yep.
After Stadium of Fire, the next time we have fireworks at the stadium, September 2 against Sam Houston. Big 12 Media Days, that's July 12th and 13th in Arlington. I'll be down there for that. And then we start getting our guys into NFL camps.
Yeah, rookies start reporting. I think, this is a time where things get real. Right now what they're going through is getting their feet wet.
They've all got mini camps going on right now. So Taysom's back with Jamal for the first time, working out in New Orleans this week.
I've seen a couple of tweets and some pictures from Jamal of them too. Always funny, always a character, but it's good to see those guys back on the same team.
Yeah. July 25th, after further review, kicks off its 10th season. That's 6 weeks from tonight. That's all. 6 weeks from tonight. August 3rd, the Jets and Browns are the first NFL game, the Hall of Fame game. 58 days away. Zach Wilson. We don't know if Taki's going to be out there with his knee on the mend, but we believe Zach will be out there now that he's the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
We should see some Zach Wilson on NBC that night. And then, of course, the big one, September 2nd is the beginning. Sam Houston at BYU, 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time on FS1.
I thought we were going to take that.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that would come our way.
Yeah.
But it's on Fox. Says, hey, they paid the money, they get the game.
I was thinking maybe it's because it's the opener.
It could be.
That could be.
It could be, but it's part of that bazillion dollars they spent. But we'll have a 2-hour pregame show and an hour postgame show, so we'll be busy on that night. I'm glad it's at 8:15. I don't know if if Fesi likes that or not, but 8:15 that time of year.
Yeah.
Those are hot days still.
According to the data last year, I think over the last couple of years,
we play good at night.
We do.
We do play good at night. Mike from Beaumont, Texas, on with us. Thanks, Mike. Good to have you here. Kansas moved up a game on their schedule. It's going to give BYU fans an opportunity to see the Jayhawks on September 8th against Illinois. It was on Saturday. They moved it to Friday night on ESPN2 in Lawrence, Kansas. BYU plays Kansas in the Big 12 opener September 23rd, also in Lawrence. So not only will we get to see Kansas, we'll get to see them at home and get a kind of feel for that environment on a Friday night where we're not playing. So the evening's wide open. A chance to watch Kansas, who BYU will open the big time with.
This brings back a good feeling. When I played in the Mountain West, we were always watching each other, obviously for competition-wise and game film, but also just as a fan, right? To follow storylines, see where we're at in the races. And I think this gives, brings that back to BYU fans.
It's a whole different animal.
It is.
When we were watching the independent schedule, it wasn't.
I didn't care about nobody else.
After we got done playing Notre Dame, we didn't care about Notre Dame or any of the others.
Right.
But now we're linked. We're linked into all of these games. We might be linked into Mexico. Big 12 says it's exploring establishing a bowl game in Monterrey starting in 2026, per the report by Brett McMurphy. This would be the first bowl game ever in Mexico. And the question is, would BYU have a home field advantage there? And I Googled it. There is an estimated 1.5 million members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints living in Mexico.
There you go.
They'll get to the game.
No matter what. Look,
they might expect the other version of football, but when they get there and the Cougars come out, I think that's a great idea to play a bowl game in Mexico.
Look, I tell family and friends back home, Mormons are everywhere. We're everywhere. And I think no matter what, we'll always have fans show up. In certain schools or certain programs where football isn't everything and there's not a lot of support fan base wise, it's always a home game for us. And I think from a recruiting standpoint, it's good as well. A lot of kids growing up are playing soccer, but I've known for our program to take some kids that grew up playing soccer and can convert them to punters or kickers, and I think it's a good opportunity.
Hey, the Dallas Cowboys have been playing in Mexico for years. It's usually a preseason game, and now the NFL plays games down there regularly. They love football, and a chance for BYU perhaps to play in Mexico. Shout out to Greg watching in Farmington. Thank you for being with us, Farmington, Utah. There was a question that came across earlier. Yes, on July 1, we're live on BYU TV as that announcement is celebrated with BYU. It's going to be a giant fan fest on the fields behind the Student Athletic Building in the afternoon on July 1st, and we'll be live from 3 to 5 Mountain Time on BYU TV, our whole game day crew, and it's gonna be one great day, culminated with our Journey concert over at the Stadium of Fire. What an awesome July.
Do we get tickets to Stadium of Fire too? Can I get in with you?
No, you can't get in with me. But
can I carry a suit?
But you'll be able to see the fireworks from where you're at.
Can I carry your briefcase?
Yes, I'm working that night. I'm working there. I'm going to go over there.
I'm going to be like, this is my uncle.
It's going to be awesome. Big 12 expansion news, not much. Everyone's watching what the Pac-12 media deal is. A lot of noise. Still nothing concrete. Some people are saying we're going to have it by the end of the month, which they've now said for 11 months. But maybe this is the month. And the Big 12 has reportedly given a June 30th deadline for schools considering a move. So we are moving toward, July 1 is such a big day on the calendar for a lot of things. Yeah. That's when BYU's joining the Big 12. That's when Houston and Cincinnati and Central Florida, it's July 1. Next July, USC, UCLA, join the Big 10. And so here comes this. Well, it seems to me there's some teeth to a June 30th deadline. Are you in or are you out?
Yeah, I think
so. We'll see what happens.
I think this is specifically towards the schools that
Colorado, Arizona, San Diego State, maybe.
Yep. Schools that have been in discussions behind the scenes. I mean, we know who's been in discussion, right? Unofficially. Yeah. But I think that's what it comes down to is pushing those schools. Sure.
The Big Ten rolled out their 2024 conference game schedule, home and away. No dates, but I thought it was interesting because UCLA and USC are in the league there for that season. So in the first year of USC in the Big Ten, they're at Michigan, at Penn State, and they have Iowa and Wisconsin coming to the Coliseum. And then UCLA, they've got Ohio State coming to the Rose Bowl, Nebraska at the Rose Bowl, and then they go to Michigan and go to Iowa. You know what? Those are all games I want to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's a lot of miles and all that stuff, and USC screwed up the whole landscape of college football, but they're playing games I want to see in the regular season. I want to watch all four of those.
I think this is where the money is, right?
Yeah.
We talked about the Big 12's non-conference schedule earlier in the show, and what was the number one ranked? It's Texas and Alabama, right?
Right.
And when you have these brand name schools, I mean, it goes back to the bowl games, right? A lot of the bowl games are the most watched obviously the conference championships are too, but you know, when you can have these brand name schools that are historic brands as well, and you know, have these historic venues, and you get to see them play, it's rare. So it's like, oh, this is good, right? But if you can start to see this more and more and more, you have fans, just college football fans, right? Like, we have no investment in this.
Right.
We don't care. But
we're just viewers.
But we're college football fans. This will make me go and watch games that are outside of my vested interest, which is BYU and the Big 12.
Yeah, for sure. Our special thanks to Glenn. We're giving you a shout out for joining the show from the Philippines. Thank you for being with us. So the Philippines and Panama represented tonight. The podcast will be up in the morning, Glenn, and you can also have this show will be waiting for you at ysguys.com. We thank Fesi Sataki, the passing game coordinator and receivers coach and extraordinaire for BYU. So fortunate to have him on the staff.
Yeah.
And I thought he was awesome in kind of taking us into his world, rebuilding the receiver room, getting it Big 12 ready.
You know what? I came away so much more confident when it comes to BYU and the NIL. And I understand the world of getting a BYU guy and what that means. And now that, you know, they've put that into the criteria of, hey, you know, if you want a big deal, that's not us, right? If you want to party, if you want to, you know, drink and smoke and do all these things, we're not the place for you. And that's fine, because there are kids that are talented that want to come here, and they see BYU as an opportunity to develop and hit their goals, like a Keaton Slovis, like you said.
There are enough kids in college football for BYU to get good players.
Absolutely.
And it's a challenge for sure. But being in the Big 12 is certainly going to help things. And Aaron Roderick's offense is what brought Keaton Slovis here, because that offense put Jaron Hall and Zach Wilson into the NFL. Slovis wants to go to the NFL. Yeah. He's smart.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity. You need a quarterback. Where'd the other two go? I'm all in. And I thought Fesi had a lot of great things to say about his quarterback too.